Venture into the shadows of the unknown with these chilling tales of Bigfoot encounters that span the rugged wilderness of America. From the eerie, remote trails of the Pacific Crest to the forgotten ghost towns haunted by legends, these stories weave a tapestry of fear and mystery. Each account, marked by inexplicable events and terrifying sightings, offers a glimpse into the daunting presence that lurks just beyond the reach of civilization. Are you brave enough to explore these harrowing narratives of the elusive giant that roams the deep, dark woods? We start with the strange story of Kennedy Meadows, California in the 1970s. In 1999, retired CBRO Sasquatch hunter Rich Grumley recounted an investigation that occurred west of China Lake, California in the Sequoias. There was a mountain of a man who lived up there in a place called Kennedy Meadows by the name of Dink Getty. A wrangler of sorts, Getty ran a pack train of mules and horses, usually full of supplies up the trail and into the Lee-Vining Bishop area on the eastern slope of the Sierras. Getty told 6'5" tall Grumley that one night he heard a terrible commotion in the corral. The frenzied horses whinnied, kicked, and stampeded about. Getty went on down there to check out what the tumult was all about, and if a cougar or black bear was marauding about the surrounding 8-foot fence constructed of used telephone poles. Getty found 6 of his pack team dead, gutted in the corral yard. Nothing appeared to be eaten or removed. In the same Kennedy Meadows area, another man reported hearing his dogs during the night hours, loudly barking, yelping, and thumping against the side of his mountain home. Suddenly, everything became quiet. The man decided to get up and go out to investigate and found all the dogs dead, theorizing they had been swung by the hind legs and slammed up against the side of the house until they stopped barking by someone or something unknown. There are no grizzlies in the area. The Pacific Crest Trail, Trinity Alps, California, 1977. I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail from the Mexican border to Canada, April 2nd through October 11th, 1977. When I got in the Trinity Alps, I feel I was followed for several hours by an animal. I camped by a creek in the late afternoon and was cooking dinner on my small Optimus stove. I heard what I thought was music in the distance and low voices. Though I was several days from any active road, it freaked me out enough that I packed up and hiked all night north on the PCT on a full moon night in late August, 1977. All night I could hear branches and limbs breaking on the main ridge above me a few hundred yards up the hill. Then, in the morning, I crossed a small creek where there were some huge tracks sliding down into the creek itself, and then up the other side. The only track that was clear was situated in the small sandbar. I hadn't seen anyone for 3 days before or 3 days after this on the trail. There had been no signs of life. If this was a hoaxer, they sure worked hard to pull it off. And at night, photos are of the creature's track and my foot next to the track. Also, a photograph of me taken in Hoopa, California, where my folks met me for the 4th of July, 1977. The last photo, bottom right, is of Rex Williams' cabin just north of the Feather River, 6 miles north of the Feather River and the town of Belden, California, on the Pacific Crest Trail, where Rex built this cabin on his gold claim in the 1950s. He panned the creek each year for 6 months and had an outdoor kitchen. Old Rex Williams claimed a Bigfoot would come by every few years. He had many bear stories and a few local bears that were a pain, but the Bigfoot would hit only every few years. Rex was 68 years old in 1977 and lived in Salem, Oregon during the winter. I have not seen a Bigfoot, but do believe they are or were around. I have not seen anything since that August of 1977 and do a ton of backpacking. I thought I would share this. Monty Dodge, January 7th, 2003. Bigfoot tracks located 1977. Nestled in the remote landscapes of Sixes River, Oregon, lies Thompson's Flat. Stan Sweet, a teacher from North Bend, Oregon, reached out with curiosity about any recent reports from this secluded area between Powers, Myrtle Point, and Sixes. Historically, Thompson's Flat was a bustling mining town in the 1800s, but tales of a fearsome wild man drove the inhabitants away, leaving the town deserted. Only a few brave souls dared to stay, including an old prospector I once spoke with. He recounted multiple sightings of a creature that matched the descriptions of Bigfoot. According to the Coos Bay Historical Society, after the miners fled, one miner remained. Tragically, he was later found dead at his sluice box, his head brutally crushed by a blood-stained rock. At that time, he was the only person left in Thompson's Flat. In the serene yet eerie expanse of California's Yuba River between LaPorte and Quincy, I experienced something profoundly unsettling in June 1988. It takes 3 days to hike into this isolated spot and 4 days to hike out with virtually no human traffic. During this trip, it was just me and my 2 dogs. We made camp near a tree line where I hung our food to keep it safe from wildlife and cooked some trout by a softly burning campfire. As night fell around 9 o'clock, I retired to my tent, the fire merely smoldering. Suddenly, the night's calm was shattered. The usual sounds of crickets ceased, and my dogs, usually fearless, came running into my tent, trembling. Armed with a rifle and flashlight, I stepped outside. The silence was oppressive, and I felt watched. I reignited the fire with some wood and heard heavy footsteps and a foul odor nearby. This presence circled my campsite all night and seemed to follow me almost all of the next day. Despite the fear, I never fired my rifle, as I do not believe in killing for sport. Although I have never returned, the memory of that night lingers, and I'm intrigued by the thought of revisiting with a group. In the 1970s, my brother Jeff and I were familiar with the wilderness of northern Idaho. We often rode our horses up to friends' homes, traversing the rugged terrain near Rapid Lightning Creek. One unforgettable day, our horse spooked, throwing us off and bolting away. As we walked back, we encountered an astonishing sight around a bend in the creek, a large, black, 2-legged animal gracefully drinking water. This creature, distinctly not a bear but something unfamiliar and at ease on 2 legs, noticed us and simply walked across the stream into the woods without any panic. This encounter, unlike any other, has stayed with me through the decades. Even years later, another unusual sighting occurred, a large maroon-black cat with a unique pattern, which local authorities dismissed as a mere house cat. The location of these encounters, deep in the forests of Bonner County, near old and new landmarks, remains vivid in my memory, a testament to the mysterious and unexplained nature of the wilderness. Thanks for joining us on this mysterious journey through the shadowy realms of America's wilderness. If you enjoyed these chilling tales of Bigfoot encounters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow mystery enthusiasts. Remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. Stay curious and keep exploring with us. Until next time, keep your eyes on the woods and your mind open. Safe travels and eerie adventures to all.